Blessed Friday to us.
Blessed Friday.
Our gospel reading is quite a short passage, or pericope, as we usually call this, but it is so full of dimensions. And I would like to focus on one particular thing about the points presented in the gospel reading. And I think I would like to repeat what I have already said, something about every time the fig tree is mentioned. It is not just because the fig tree is a common tree used in vineyards. Actually, muna siya himuon nga kanang sa galina ng murag boundary ba, no? Is a hedge tree. But it is not just because of that. It is something that is so significant because the very first tree ever mentioned in the Bible from the very act of God's creation was the fig tree. Now that's why when we say something like portentous or ominous in Jesus' words about understanding the movement of the environment of the world, of the heavens and the earth, the fig tree is mentioned precisely because it is a good way of getting back into the real story, the heart of the story of our salvation. The fig tree, I'm always confronting myself. I always see that, no, when I'm here, because there is a beautiful painting there at the back. The fig tree was used to clothe the man and the woman after they committed sin. So the fig tree is a witness of how God showed justice in order to show that He is a just judge, but at the same time, it is a witness of God's loving forgiveness, loving kindness. The clothing of the nakedness, because the nakedness was the cause of shame. And so this is God's care. This is God's providence. In fact, we can actually jump very closely to the connection with the parable of the prodigal son. Remember that when the son dissipated and wasted everything, when he decided to return back to his father, the first move of the father was to have his robes back. It reminds us of how God continuously cares for us. Despite the many different events and experiences, bisan pa man sa mga paghulga, sa mga umaabot nga mga katalagman sa atong kinabuhi, the very point that God always shows His mercy actually envelopes us with that kindness like a clothing. No, nga, He actually is ready to welcome us back. This is one beautiful thing that we can put even amidst all these ominous messages that we have in our times. And as is always said at the same time, precisely because the liturgical calendar is soon to end. Tomorrow is the last day of the liturgical calendar. Come Sunday, the first Sunday of Advent, we change the liturgical calendar. And so these are things that are reminding us that we have to face the many different challenges in our lives, but God continues to be caring. It only takes our heart to understand it. And with that, a very special point is also to be noted, because today, as we celebrate the memorial of Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal, we always have that feeling and that security, because it is through the Blessed Virgin Mary's motherly care that God's fatherly love will always be felt. And that is always understood. No, it is always a given, because we are a people who are so devoted to her. And that's why we do not miss this celebration, even if in the Ordo it is not indicated. But since we love the Blessed Virgin Mary, we'll never miss that. And by not missing this very important celebration, we are also reminded of the God who should not be missed, because He cares for us from beginning until the end of time. Amen.